Okay, one of the most interesting subjects of my life has been animal communication. And I know it's something that people question, but my background is my former partner and I operated an animal sanctuary. Basically, we were a nonprofit for just 3 of the years, but we really started taking animals in need in the year 2000. And it just so happened that a good friend of mine, I'm sorry, there are mosquitoes out here. Good friend of mine developed her clairsentient, clairvoyant, like, I don't know what she's not capable of. But animal communication was one of the first things that she introduced us to. So I'll start with the first experience. Well, with Jane. There is one prior, but we're going to tell that in a separate story because it's a really good one too. So the first time that I worked with Jane St. Croix, or Woody and I did, my former partner and I, was back in 2000. I think maybe it was 2001, but we had taken a couple of senior Boston Terriers from the Linwood shelter up in Washington and renamed them Chance and Bliss. And Chance was just doing some pretty interesting stuff. He would really lay down and get to the point that you could almost not detect his breathing. And then he would bounce back up, have a big bowl of food, and be back on his way. So I was curious, once I found out Jane had these abilities, we wanted to know what was going on with him. So our first session with Chance, we did it in person around a bed. We had Chance on the bed, and Jane brought in her guides and, touched base with Chance. And this was a woman who I don't think had a lot of animal experience, which was interesting because she said Chance was ready to go, but he was sticking around because he was worried about Bliss, his little sister. And Bliss had a lot more medical problems than Chance did. So she said that she helped to put in place for him a bridge so that when he was ready to go, the bridge to the other side would be in place. And she said that the bridge was made of a rainbow. I'm moving away from the sun. But Jane wasn't familiar with the Rainbow Bridge poem, so she saw it without knowing that it was a legend. And that was interesting to hear about Chance. So Chance passes, and that opens up another spot in our home for another rescue dog. And I had always wanted a miniature pinscher. We found one using Pet Finder. We normally used Pet Finder to find animals that were special needs, senior, the ones that were least likely to be adopted. So we find this little miniature pinscher, and he had been bounced to 8 homes in 8 months and given as many names. And so knowing that we had this cool tool in our back pocket, and frankly, Jane had asked her turtle what he wanted to be called, I thought this was the perfect opportunity. This poor little guy, let's give him a new start, a new life, and what do you want to be called? So she comes back with the name, and I apologize, these bugs are crazy. We won't maybe sit by the river again or the creek. But she comes back with the name Happenstance. And I thought, it's beautiful. And we had 2 puppies at the time named Hope and Harmony, so Happy fit in perfectly. But I just had to know what it meant. So literally, Woody and I opened up the dictionary and looked up the definition of happenstance, and it was a chance event. Chance died so that Happy could find his way to us. So happenstance was indeed a chance event. You can't make this stuff up, guys. This is how the universe works. Thanks for listening.